My brother hired a nurse for our mother. By the time I realized what was happening, Mom's house was in her name. I should have known something was wrong the first time Marcus wouldn't let me talk to Mama alone. But I didn't. I was grateful. That's what gets me now. I was actually grateful. It was September when Marcus called me in Atlanta. I was at work, processing insurance claims at my desk, when his name popped up on my phone. "Diana," he said, "we need to talk about Mama." My stomach dropped. Those words never meant anything good. "What happened? Is she okay?" "She fell last Tuesday. Nothing broken, but the doctor said she can't live alone anymore." I closed my eyes. Mama was 78, still sharp as a tack. Or so I thought. She lived in Savannah in the house Daddy bought 40 years ago, the one with the blue shutters and the porch swing that squeaked. "How bad is it?" I asked. "Bad enough. The neighbor found her on the bathroom floor. She'd been there 3 hours, Diana." 3 hours. I felt sick. "I'm coming down this weekend," I said. "We'll figure something out." "Already did," Marcus said. "I hired a caregiver. She starts Monday." "You what?" "A professional nurse, Nicole Patterson. She came highly recommended. She'll live in the house, take care of everything." "Marcus, we should have talked about this." Something in his voice made me pause. Marcus was practical about money. Always had been. This didn't sound like him. "Let me talk to Mama. She's resting right now. Doctor's orders. I'll have her call you later." "Marcus, I gotta go. Meeting in 5 minutes. We'll talk this weekend." He hung up. I stared at my phone for a long time. That Saturday, I drove down to Savannah. It was a beautiful October morning, the kind that makes you forget about everything wrong in the world. Spanish moss hanging from the live oaks, morning light cutting through the trees. I pulled up to Mama's house at 10. A white Honda was in the driveway. New, maybe 2 years old. Not Mama's car, not Marcus's either. I noticed the license plate holder was from a luxury dealership in Charleston. Expensive car for a caregiver making $4,000 a month. The front door opened before I could knock. "You must be Diana." She was young, maybe 35, with smooth dark skin and braids pulled back into a neat bun. Professional scrubs, purple with little flowers on them. Warm smile, but her eyes didn't match the smile. They were calculating, assessing. "I'm Nicole," she said, extending her hand. "Your mother talks about you all the time." Her handshake was firm, too firm, like she was making a point. "Is she awake?" "Just finishing breakfast. Come on in." The house smelled different, cleaner, like lemon and fresh laundry. And something else, something expensive. Perfume, maybe. Everything was in its place. The furniture I remembered, but somehow different. A new lamp on the side table, new throw pillows on the couch, small changes. "You've been decorating," I said. Nicole laughed. "Just a few touches here and there. Your mother said she wanted to freshen things up. It's good for morale, you know." Mama never cared about throw pillows. "Did she pay for these?" The question came out sharper than I meant. Nicole's smile tightened just slightly. "I picked them up. She reimbursed me. Is that a problem?" "Just curious." "Well, curiosity is natural. You care about your mother. That's beautiful." Something about the way she said it felt like a judgment. She led me to the kitchen. Mama was at the table eating scrambled eggs and toast. She looked up when I walked in. "Diana, baby, you didn't have to drive all the way down here." I kissed her cheek. She smelled like her old perfume, the one she'd worn for decades. That, at least, was the same. "Of course I did, Mama. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm fine. Marcus is making a big fuss over nothing. I just slipped, that's all. You were on the floor for 3 hours. Well, she waved her hand. That won't happen again. Nicole's here now. Nicole smiled from the doorway. I'll let you two catch up. I'll be upstairs if you need anything, Mrs. Washington. Thank you, baby, Mama said. As Nicole walked away, I noticed something. Her phone was in her hand, screen facing us, like she was recording. Then she slipped it into her pocket. Maybe I imagined it. I sat down across from Mama. She seems nice, I said carefully. She's wonderful. Cooks, cleans, helps me with my medications. Marcus really found a gem. And the new decorations? Oh, those. Mama looked at the living room. Nicole said the house needed some life, some color. She's right, you know. After your father died, I let things get so drab. Mama, did you want those things? She hesitated, just for a second. Of course I did, baby. Why wouldn't I? But something in her eyes said different. We talked for an hour about Kenya, about my job, about the church ladies Mama played cards with on Thursdays. Normal things. But every time I asked a question about finances, about the house, about her medications, Mama would look toward the stairs, like she was waiting for permission to answer. Mama, I said quietly, are you okay? Really okay? She reached across the table and patted my hand. I'm fine, Diana. Better than fine. It's nice to have company again. This house was so quiet after your father. Her voice caught on the word quiet, and for the first time, I wondered if maybe Marcus was right. Maybe Mama did need someone here. But did it have to be Nicole? I stayed for a few more hours. Nicole reappeared around 2, all smiles and suggestions. Mrs. Washington should take her afternoon nap now. The doctor said rest is crucial for healing. I'm not tired, Mama said. I know, but doctor's orders. Just 30 minutes. Then you and Diana can visit more. Mama stood up without arguing, like a child following instructions. Nicole helped her up the stairs. I waited in the living room, looking at those new throw pillows, the new lamp, the small decorative bowl on the coffee table that definitely wasn't there before. When Nicole came back down, she found me examining a receipt on the side table. That's for Mama's medications, she said quickly. I keep all the receipts organized, for insurance purposes. I picked it up. It was from a pharmacy in Charleston, $240 for prescriptions. Does insurance not cover her medications? I asked. Some are out of network, unfortunately, but it's necessary for her health. Which ones? I'd have to check my files. Is there a problem, Mrs. Washington? There it was again, that edge in her voice. No problem. Just want to understand her care. Of course. I can send you a full breakdown if you'd like. I keep detailed records. That would be great. I'll email it tonight. She never did. I tried to visit every 2 weeks after that. Sometimes I could, sometimes I couldn't. Work was crazy. Kenya needed help with tuition. Life happened. But every time I called, Nicole answered, she's sleeping. She's at physical therapy. She's having a good day, but the doctor said no stress. I'd leave messages. Mama would call back a day or 2 later, but the conversations were short, distracted. Everything okay, Mama? Everything's fine, baby. Nicole takes good care of me. November came, then December. One night in late November, I called at 9. Nicole answered. Mrs. Washington, it's late. Your mother's already asleep. It's 9 o'clock. Mama never goes to bed before 10. Well, she does now. The doctor adjusted her medication schedule. What doctor? Dr. Reeves, her new geriatric specialist. I can send you his information if you'd like. Please do. Again, nothing came. Christmas. I drove down with Kenya. We were going to spend 3 days. Nicole met us at the door. Same warm smile, but I noticed her eyes went to our bags immediately. Mrs. Washington is so excited to see you both, but just so you know, she tires easily now. The doctor wants her to rest between visits. We're family, I said, sharper than I meant to. We're not a visit. Nicole's smile didn't change. Of course. I just want to make sure she doesn't overdo it. Last time she had too much excitement. She was confused for 2 days. Last time? When her church friends came, she got overstimulated. I had to call the doctor. This was the first I was hearing about it. We went inside. Mama hugged Kenya like she hadn't seen her in years. They went into the living room, talking about school. I found Marcus in the kitchen with Nicole. They were looking at something on her phone. When I walked in, Nicole put the phone away quickly. Hey, I said. They both looked up. Marcus smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Diana, didn't hear you come in. What were you looking at? Just Mama's medication schedule, Nicole said smoothly, making sure everything's coordinated with the new doctor. The new doctor I haven't met. Dr. Reeves, Marcus said. He's excellent, specializes in elderly care. When did Mama switch doctors? She's been with Dr. Morrison for 20 years. Dr. Morrison retired, Nicole said. Didn't your mother tell you? She hadn't. Or maybe she had and I forgot. Or maybe Nicole was lying. I couldn't tell anymore. That night I tried to help Mama get ready for bed. Nicole does that, Mama said. I can do it, Mama. I'm here. No, Nicole has a routine. I don't want to mess it up. Mama, Diana, please, just let her do her job. It was the first time my mother had ever spoken to me like that. I stood in the hallway while Nicole helped Mama into her nightgown, gave her pills, tucked her in like a child. As Nicole was leaving the room, I heard Mama say something. Quiet, almost a whisper. Thank you for staying. And Nicole's response, always. I'm not going anywhere. The way she said it made my skin crawl. When Nicole came out, she smiled at me. She's all set. I'll check on her around midnight just to make sure she doesn't need anything. I can do that, I said. I'm here. Oh, I don't mind. It's what I'm here for. Besides, she gets confused if her routine changes. She went to her room, the guest room that used to be mine. I stood in the dark hallway for a long time. January 15th. I remember the date because it was Kenya's birthday. I was at her apartment, helping her celebrate with her roommates when Marcus called. Diana, don't freak out. My heart stopped. What happened? Mama had a small stroke. She's at Memorial. She's stable, but I'm coming. I drove 2 hours in the dark, called Kenya 3 times, called Marcus 5 times. He didn't answer after the first call. I got to the hospital at 11 p.m. Marcus was in the waiting room with Nicole. Nicole, in the middle of the night, at the hospital. Why is she here? I asked Marcus. She was with Mama when it happened, he said. She called 911, rode in the ambulance. She's been here all day. Nicole stood up. I'll give you 2 some privacy. No, I said. Stay. You're part of this now, apparently. Marcus gave me a look. Diana, how is she? The doctors say she'll recover, but she'll need more care now, much more monitoring. I want to see her. She's sleeping. They sedated her. I sank into a chair. Nicole sat down next to me, too close. Mrs. Washington, I know this is scary, but I promise you I'm going to take the best care of your mother. She won't be alone for a second. Something in her voice, something possessive. How long have you been doing this? I asked. Caregiving? About 8 years. I love it. It's my calling. Where were you before, Mama? A family in Charleston. Sweet lady, 92. She passed peacefully last year. And before that, her smile tightened just a fraction. Another family in Colombia? Why? Just curious about your background. You have references? Of course. Your brother checked them thoroughly. Didn't you, Marcus? Marcus nodded, but something in his face made me wonder if he actually had. I'd like to see them, I said. They're at the house, in my personnel file. I'm very organized about documentation. I'm sure you are. We stared at each other. Marcus stood up. I'm going to find some coffee. Nicole, you want anything? I'm fine, thank you. They shared a look, quick, subtle, but I saw it. When Marcus was gone, Nicole leaned forward. Mrs. Washington, I know you're worried. That's natural. But I need you to trust me. Your mother is safe with me. I promise. I don't know you, I said, and you're living in my mother's house, controlling who sees her, when they see her. I'm not controlling anything. I'm following doctor's orders. Then I want to see those orders. Of course, I'll email them to you tonight. She never did. The next day, I called Dr. Reeves's office. I'm sorry, but we don't have a patient named Helen Washington, the receptionist said. My blood went cold. Can you check again? Helen Washington, 78 years old, referred by Nicole Patterson. Typing sounds. No, ma'am. No one by that name. I hung up, called Marcus immediately. What's Dr. Reeves's full name? I asked. Michael Reeves. Why? Because his office says Mama's not a patient. Silence. That doesn't make sense, Marcus said finally. Nicole's been taking her to appointments. Has she? Have you seen any paperwork? Any bills? Nicole handles all that. She's very organized. Too organized, Marcus. Don't you think? What are you saying? I'm saying I want to see Mama's medical records, all of them. And I want to see Nicole's references, and I want to see every bill, every receipt, every expense since September. Diana, today, Marcus, or I'm calling a lawyer. Another silence, longer this time. Meet me at the house, 6 o'clock. Mama came home 3 days later. She was different, quieter, more fragile. She didn't recognize me at first. Who are you? She asked when I walked into her room. It's Diana, Mama, your daughter. She blinked. Diana. Yes, of course. But her eyes were uncertain. Nicole was there constantly, bringing water, adjusting pillows, checking blood pressure. Maybe she needs some rest, Nicole said gently, from visitors. I'm not a visitor. I'm her daughter. I know. I just meant, I know what you meant. I stayed anyway, camped out in the living room on the couch that used to be comfortable, but now felt like a prison. At 2 a.m., I heard voices upstairs, Nicole's voice and Mama's. I crept up the stairs, stood outside Mama's door. It was slightly open. Just sign here, Mrs. Washington. It's for your medical records. I don't understand. It's okay. The doctor needs it. Just your signature. Where are my glasses? You don't need them for this. Just right here on this line. I pushed the door open. Nicole jumped. She was holding papers. Mama had a pen in her hand, hovering over a signature line. What's going on? I asked. Just updating some medical forms, Nicole said smoothly. Insurance paperwork. At 2 in the morning? Your mother couldn't sleep. I thought we'd take care of some administrative things. I walked over, took the papers from Nicole's hands. They weren't insurance forms. They were power of attorney documents, making Nicole Patterson the legal decision-maker for my mother's medical and financial affairs. "What the hell is this?" I said. Mama looked confused, scared. She dropped the pen. Nicole reached for the papers. "That's confidential medical information. This isn't medical. This is legal. Your brother asked me to handle this for your mother's protection." "My brother? Marcus asked you to get power of attorney over our mother. It's standard procedure for elderly patients with cognitive decline. Get out, Mrs. Washington. Get out of this room, now." Nicole's face changed. The warmth disappeared. Something cold took its place. "I don't think you understand the situation," she said quietly. "Your mother needs care, professional care. If I leave, who's going to provide that? You? You live 2 hours away. You have a job, a daughter in college. How are you going to care for a woman who just had a stroke?" She was right, and she knew she was right. "I'm calling Marcus," I said. "Go ahead." I called. He didn't answer. I called 10 more times. Nothing. I turned to Mama. She was staring at the papers in my hands. "Mama, did you understand what you were signing?" Nicole said, "She said it was for the doctor." "It's not for the doctor. It's legal papers that would give her control of everything. Your house, your money, all of it." Mama's face crumpled. I don't know anymore. Everything is so confusing." Nicole stepped forward. "Mrs. Washington is tired, and you're upsetting her. Maybe you should leave." "I'm not going anywhere." "Then I'll have to call the police and tell them you're harassing a vulnerable elderly woman." "You do that. I'll show them these papers." We stared at each other. Finally, Nicole picked up her phone and walked out. I sat on the edge of Mama's bed. "Mama, has Nicole asked you to sign things before?" She nodded slowly. "Sometimes. She says it's for doctors, for medicines. I don't always remember." My stomach turned. "What else have you signed?" "I don't know, baby. I don't remember." The next morning, I drove to Marcus's house. He lived in a nice neighborhood, the kind with gates and security cameras. Hospital administrator money. His wife Cheryl answered the door. She looked surprised to see me. "Diana, everything okay?" "I need to talk to Marcus. He's not here. He had an early meeting at the hospital." "What time will he be back?" "I don't know. Maybe this afternoon. Is something wrong with your mom?" I looked at her carefully. "What has Marcus told you about Mama's caregiver?" "Nicole? Just that she's been a godsend. Why?" "Did you know she's trying to get power of attorney?" Cheryl frowned. "What? No, that doesn't sound right." "It's not right. That's why I need to talk to Marcus." "Let me call him." She called. He answered for her. They talked for a minute. She handed me the phone. "Diana," Marcus said. He sounded exhausted. "What's this about?" "You know what it's about. Power of attorney? Are you serious?" "That was for Mama's protection." "Protection from what? From me?" "No, from herself. Diana, she's getting worse. The doctors said—" "What doctors?" "Dr. Reeves doesn't have her as a patient." I called. "Who else has Nicole been taking her to? Real doctors or more fake ones?" Silence. "Marcus?" "Meet me at Duncan on Abercorn. 20 minutes. He hung up. I waited 30 minutes. Marcus finally showed up looking like he hadn't slept in days. We sat in the back corner, away from everyone. "Start talking," I said. He stared at his coffee cup for a long time. "I think I made a mistake," he said finally. What kind of mistake? With Nicole, with all of it. Tell me everything. I took a breath. She approached me last summer, July, at the hospital cafeteria. Said she overheard me talking to a colleague about needing care for Mama. Said she specialized in elderly patients, had great references, and was between positions. Did you check the references? I called them. 3 families. They all said she was amazing, professional, trustworthy, caring. And now? Now I think they were fake numbers, or friends of hers, because I tried calling them again last week. 2 were disconnected. The 3rd said they'd never heard of Nicole Patterson. My heart sank. Marcus, I know. I was stupid, but she seemed perfect, and I was desperate. Do you know how hard it is to find live-in care? I'd been looking for months. When did you realize something was wrong? About a month ago. I went to the house unannounced. Nicole was in Mama's office going through the file cabinet. When she saw me, she acted normal, said she was organizing medical records, but something felt off. What did you do? I waited until she left for the grocery store. Then I went through Mama's files myself. And that's when I found them. Checks. Dozens of checks made out to companies I'd never heard of. Medical supply companies, home care agencies, therapy services, some for hundreds of dollars, some for thousands. My hands went cold. How much total? So far, about 45,000. Jesus Christ, Marcus. I know. Why didn't you call the police? Because I'm an idiot. Because I thought maybe there was an explanation. Because Nicole said she had documentation for everything. Receipts, invoices, authorization forms. Did you see them? She sent me PDFs. They looked legitimate, but now I think they're fake. All of it. So what's your plan? Just let her keep stealing? No. I've been trying to figure out how to handle this without destroying Mama, without humiliating myself. I'm a hospital administrator, Diana. My job is managing healthcare operations. How is it going to look that I got scammed by a fake nurse? Who cares how it looks? This is Mama we're talking about. I care. My career, my reputation, is worth more than our mother. He flinched. We sat in silence. There's something else, Marcus said quietly. What? Nicole's been talking about selling the house. My blood went cold. What? She's been mentioning it to Mama. Says the house is too big, too much work, too many memories, that Mama should move somewhere smaller, somewhere easier to manage. And by somewhere, she means a care facility, where Nicole would still be the primary caregiver, at an even higher rate. And of course, once the house is sold, the proceeds would go into an account Nicole manages. We have to stop this. Now. How? We have no proof. Everything Nicole's done looks legitimate on paper, and if we accuse her without evidence, she'll claim we're the ones trying to take advantage of Mama. He was right. Nicole had been smart, careful. I'm calling a lawyer, I said, and tell them what? That our mother's caregiver is doing her job too well? That she's stealing and manipulating a vulnerable elderly woman? Prove it. I couldn't. Not yet. Then I'll get proof, I said. I called a lawyer that afternoon. Her name was Patricia Monroe. She specialized in elder law. I explained everything. The power of attorney attempt, the suspicious checks, the fake doctors, the isolation. Do you have documentation? She asked. Some. Bank statements, photos of checks. But Marcus says a lot of it looks legitimate on paper. That's how these cases work. Financial predators are sophisticated. They create paper trails that look legal. but there are patterns we can look for. Bring me everything you have." I went that afternoon. Patricia was in her 50s, sharp-eyed, no nonsense. We sat in her office and went through everything. "This is elder financial abuse," she said. "Textbook case. But proving it is going to be tricky." "Why?" "Because your mother is still competent enough to make her own decisions, legally speaking. And if Nicole has convinced her that these expenses are legitimate, your mother might defend her. Mama doesn't even remember signing half of this stuff. That's the problem. Her memory issues cut both ways. A judge might say she's too impaired to be trusted as a witness. So what do I do? First, we file for emergency guardianship, get you legal authority over your mother's affairs temporarily, stop any more money from disappearing. How long does that take? A few days, maybe a week. But Diana, you need to understand something. If this goes to court, it's going to get ugly. Your brother is going to have to testify. Nicole's going to fight back, and your mother is going to be caught in the middle. I don't care. I need to protect her." Patricia studied me. "Even if protecting her means going against what she wants?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, it's possible your mother knows exactly what's happening, that she's chosen to let Nicole stay, for her own reasons. That's ridiculous." "Is it? Elder abuse isn't always about force. Sometimes it's about loneliness, about someone finally paying attention, about choosing companionship over money." I didn't want to believe her, but something in the back of my mind whispered that she might be right. I went back to Mama's house that evening. Nicole answered the door, professional smile, but her eyes were hard. "Mrs. Washington, it's late. I'm staying tonight." "I don't think that's a good idea. Your mother's routine. I don't care about her routine." I pushed past Nicole into the house. Mama was in the living room watching TV. She looked up when I came in. "Diana, baby, what are you doing here?" "I'm staying with you tonight, Mama." "Oh, well, that's nice." Nicole appeared behind me. "Mrs. Washington has already taken her evening medications. She should be going to bed soon." "Then I'll help her. I really think, Nicole, we need to talk, privately." Her expression didn't change. "Of course. Let me just get your mother settled." She helped Mama stand up, guided her toward the stairs. Mama moved slowly, carefully. I watched them disappear up the stairs. When Nicole came back down, I was waiting in the kitchen. "I know what you're doing," I said. "I'm taking care of your mother. You're stealing from her. That's a serious accusation. I have bank statements, checks to companies that don't exist, $45,000 missing in 5 months. And I have signed documentation for every penny. Medical equipment, home modifications, medications, all necessary expenses for your mother's care. Necessary expenses that you fabricated. Prove it." We stared at each other. "My lawyer is filing for emergency guardianship tomorrow," I said. "You won't have access to her accounts anymore." Something flickered in Nicole's face, just for a second. Then she smiled. "Your mother is 78 years old. She's had a stroke. She's confused, forgetful. A judge is going to ask her what she wants, and she's going to say she wants me here, because I'm the one who's been here. Not you, not Marcus, me. You've been manipulating her. I've been caring for her. There's a difference. You were trying to get power of attorney at 2 a.m. That's not care. That's predatory." "That was a misunderstanding. Your mother asked me to help with some paperwork. I was trying to be helpful. Helpful? You isolated her from her family. You lied about doctors. You've been systematically stealing from her. Nicole's smile widened. And yet, your mother is healthier now than she's been in years. She takes her medications on time. She eats regular meals. She has companionship. What exactly have you provided, Mrs. Washington? That hit harder than I wanted to admit. I'm her daughter. But you weren't here. I was, and that's what matters. She picked up her purse from the counter. Car keys. I'm going to get some air. I'll be back in an hour. We can continue this conversation then, or not. Your choice. She walked out. I stood in the kitchen, shaking. I went upstairs to check on Mama. She was in bed, eyes half closed, breathing softly. I sat in the chair by her bed, just watching her. She looked so small, so fragile. When did she get so old? Around midnight, she stirred. Diana? I'm here, Mama. What time is it? Late. Go back to sleep. I can't. My mind won't stop. I moved to the edge of the bed. What are you thinking about? She was quiet for a long time. I thought maybe she'd fallen back asleep. Then, your father. Yeah? He used to sit in that chair. After he got sick, he'd watch me sleep, make sure I was still breathing. I felt tears start. I remember. He said dying wasn't scary. Being alone was scary. You're not alone, Mama. I was. For a long time. After he died, this house was so quiet. I took her hand. I should have visited more. I'm sorry. You had your own life. That's how it should be. But I left you alone. Everyone leaves eventually. That's just life. Mama, Nicole doesn't leave. The words hung in the air. What? She opened her eyes, looked right at me. Nicole is here every day, every night. She talks to me, really talks, asks about my life, listens to my stories about your father, about raising you and Marcus. She makes me feel like I still matter. You do matter. You've always mattered. Then why did it take you so long to notice I was disappearing? I couldn't answer. Mama closed her eyes again. I know about the money, Diana. My heart stopped. What? I know Nicole's been taking money. From the beginning. I'm not as confused as everyone thinks. I couldn't breathe. Why didn't you say something? Because I didn't care. Mama, do you know what it's like to be old, to wake up every morning and wonder if today's the day your mind finally goes? To eat breakfast alone, lunch alone, dinner alone, to go days without talking to another human being? You could have called me and say what? Come home because I'm lonely? Take care of me because I can't take care of myself? Become my burden? You're not a burden. Yes, I am. It's exactly what I am, and I hate it. She was crying now, silently, tears running down her weathered cheeks. Then Nicole came, and yes, I knew she was after money. I'm old, Diana, not stupid. But she was here. She was present. She made me feel human again. But Mama, she's taken $45,000. So what? What was I going to do with that money? Leave it to you and Marcus when I die so you can feel guilty about not visiting? Buy things I don't need? Save it for a future I don't have? It's your money, your future. My future is death, baby. That's the only future people my age have. And before I get there, I'd rather have someone to talk to than money in the bank. I was crying too now. I didn't know you felt this way. Because I didn't tell you. Because I was ashamed. Because admitting you're lonely means admitting you've become someone people have to schedule time for. We sat in silence, her hand in mine. Nicole's been stealing from you, Mama. It's not okay, no matter how lonely you are. Maybe not, but it's my choice, my money, my loneliness. What about the power of attorney papers? She was trying to. I know what she was trying to do. And yes, that was too far. I told her no. That's why you walked in. I wasn't going to sign them. You said you didn't understand. I know what I said. I said it so you'd stop her without me having to stop her. Because part of me didn't want to lose her either. She looked at me then, really looked at me. Do you understand what I'm saying, Diana? I'm choosing loneliness with company over loneliness alone, even if that company costs money. That's not fair to you. Fair? What's fair? Fair would be your father still being alive. Fair would be my children living close enough to visit weekly. Fair would be a world where old people don't become invisible. She had a point, but I couldn't just accept it. What do you want me to do, Mama? Walk away? Let Nicole keep taking your money until there's nothing left? I want you to understand, and maybe forgive yourself a little. You're not responsible for my loneliness. You have your own life. That's good. That's right. But I still should have been here more. Yes, you should have, but you weren't. And now we're here. So what do we do? I didn't have an answer. We sat together in the dark, mother and daughter, trying to figure out a solution to a problem that had no good answer. The next morning, Nicole came back. She walked in like nothing had happened. Warm smile, professional demeanor. Good morning, Mrs. Washington. Did you sleep well? I was in the kitchen, drinking coffee, trying to figure out what to do. We need to talk, I said. Of course. We sat at the table. I talked to my mother last night, I said. She told me everything. Nicole's expression didn't change. Everything? That she knows you've been taking money, that she's been letting you. A long pause. Then Nicole smiled. But this time, it was different. Real, almost. Sad, maybe. Your mother is a remarkable woman, smarter than anyone gives her credit for. So you admit it. I admit I've been providing companionship, and yes, I've been compensated for it beyond my salary. Your mother offered. I didn't refuse. That's called exploitation. Is it? Or is it a transaction between two adults? She gets company. I get paid. Everyone wins. Except she's vulnerable, lonely. You took advantage of that. I provided a service she needed that her family wasn't providing. That hurt, because it was true. The power of attorney papers were too far, I said. I agree. That was a mistake. I won't try again. How do I trust that? Nicole shrugged. You don't, but your mother does, and ultimately, it's her choice. We stared at each other. Here's what's going to happen, I said. No more fake companies. No more checks to businesses that don't exist. You get your $4,000 a month salary. That's it. Fair. Second, I'm setting up a new bank account in my name. For Mama's remaining savings, you don't touch it. Understood. Third, I visit whenever I want. No more, she's resting, or doctor's orders. I see my mother when I want to see her. Of course. And fourth, I leaned forward. If I find out you've taken even $1 extra, if you've pressured her into signing anything, if you've done anything to hurt her, I will destroy you. Do we understand each other? Nicole met my eyes. We do. Good. She stood up, went to make breakfast, like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. It's April now. I visit every weekend. Sometimes I bring Kenya. Sometimes I come alone. Mama and Nicole have a routine. Nicole cooks, cleans, manages medications. Mama tells her stories about growing up in Alabama, about meeting Daddy, about raising us kids. I'm still not sure if Nicole actually cares or if she's just playing a role. Maybe it doesn't matter. Mama seems content, or as content as you can be at 78 with a body that's failing and a mind that's slipping. Marcus comes by more now, too, brings his kids, helps with the yard work. We don't talk about what happened. Some things are better left in the past. Last weekend, I was sitting on the porch with Mama. The swing still squeaked. Some things never change. Nicole was inside doing dishes. Through the window, I could see her moving around the kitchen. "Do you think less of me?" Mama asked suddenly. "What?" "For letting her stay, for letting her take the money." I thought about it, really thought about it. "No," I said finally. "I think you made the choice you needed to make, even if I don't fully understand it. Good, because I need you to know something." "What?" She turned to look at me. Her eyes were clear, present. I wasn't confused that night. When Nicole had those papers, I knew exactly what they were. I was stalling, waiting for someone to walk in. "Mama, I was waiting for you, baby, because I needed you to see what was happening, because I couldn't stop her myself, because I needed you to be the bad guy so I could keep her as the good guy." My throat tightened. "Why didn't you just tell me?" "Because I'm a foolish old woman who'd rather have bad company than no company, and I was ashamed of that." "You're not foolish." "Yes, I am. We all are. We all make choices that don't make sense to other people. This is mine." We sat in silence. The swing creaked back and forth. Inside, Nicole laughed at something, probably the TV, or maybe just laughing to herself. "Do you regret it?" I asked. "The money? Everything?" "Every day," Mama said, "but I regret being alone more." That was the truth of it, the hard, ugly, complicated truth. Later that afternoon, I found Nicole in Mama's room. She was helping her change for bed. "Can I talk to you?" I asked Nicole. "Of course." We stepped into the hallway. "My mother told me," I said, "about that night, the papers, that she was stalling." Nicole nodded slowly. I wondered if she'd say something. "You knew?" "I suspected. Your mother is shrewd, more than anyone realizes. So you knew she was using you too." A small smile. "Using each other. That's what relationships are, aren't they? Mutual use, mutual benefit." That's a cynical way to look at it. It's an honest way. We stood there, two women who'd never be friends, never trust each other, but who were somehow bound together by an old woman's choice. "Take care of her," I said finally. "I will. I mean, really take care of her, not just for the money." Nicole's expression softened, just slightly. "Believe it or not, Mrs. Washington, I've grown fond of your mother. She's funny, smart. She tells good stories. I'd probably do this for free now." "Then why don't you?" "Because I still have bills, and because she insisted on paying me. She said it kept things professional, kept me from feeling like charity." That sounded like Mama. "One more thing," I said. "Yes? When the time comes, and it will come, I want to be here. Not just you, me too." Nicole nodded. "I'll call you, I promise." I believed her. I don't know why, but I did. That night, I lay on the couch in the living room. The house was quiet, peaceful. Upstairs, I could hear Nicole moving around, checking on Mama, making sure she was comfortable, and I realized something. I hadn't protected Mama from Nicole. I'd protected her from me, from my guilt, my judgment, my need to fix everything. Sometimes the best thing you can do for someone you love is let them make their own mistakes, even if those mistakes cost money, even if they don't make sense, even if they break your heart. I stayed for 3 more days, visited with Mama, helped with meals, sat on the porch swing. Nicole and I maintained a careful distance, polite, professional. But on my last day, as I was loading my car, Nicole came outside. "Your mother is lucky to have you," she said. I almost laughed. "She's paying you $45,000 because she doesn't have me. She has you now. That matters." "Does it?" "More than you know." She went back inside. I drove home thinking about everything that had happened, about choices and consequences, about loneliness and money, about what we owe our parents and what we owe ourselves. I still don't have answers, but I've learned something. Sometimes loving someone means accepting their choices, even when those choices hurt you, even when they seem wrong, even when you do anything to change them. Mama chose companionship over security, presence over savings, Nicole over being alone. And as much as I hated it, as much as I wanted to fix it, I had to let her make that choice. Because in the end, it's her life, her house, her loneliness, her money, and her right to spend it however she wants. The house still has the blue shutters, the porch swing still squeaks, and Mama still lives there, with Nicole. For now, that's enough. I call 3 times a week now, visit every weekend, sometimes twice. It's not enough to make up for the years I wasn't there, but it's something, and sometimes something is all we can give. I've stopped trying to understand if Nicole is good or bad, if she really cares, or is just playing a role, if this whole arrangement is ethical or exploitation. Because I've realized something important. Life isn't about good and bad. It's about what you can live with. And Mama can live with this. So I can too, even if it costs $45,000 and breaks my heart. Even if it means watching someone I don't trust take care of someone I love. Even if it means accepting that I failed her in ways that can't be fixed. Because at the end of the day, she's still here, still in the house with the blue shutters, still telling stories, still laughing at Nicole's jokes, still alive. And that's worth more than any amount of money. That's worth everything.